one of you fellas to ask me, did I ever know Shane before he had that gun fight with Wilson? Well, the answer is yes, I did know him. I knew him when he was a young man. I knew him when he was about 25 years old. I was doing a little work around the sheriff's office, and a nice-looking fella leaned in the door and said, "Is the sheriff in his office today?" And I told him I hadn't seen the sheriff, but it was still only about 11:30 in the morning. He was dressed in rawhide, that is, Shane was dressed in rawhide. He had a rawhide shirt. And he also had rawhide pants. You probably know he was not what you call a big fella. The main thing you could say about Shane is he seemed like he was a man in his own thoughtful world. He looked like a man that had been carrying some tragedy on his shoulders and had been for some time. I took to him immediately. I took to the rawhide. I took to the brown color, which always meant to me that somebody hadn't run across the line when the war started. That is the Civil War, the greatest war of all time. Yeah, I could tell he was there. He had participated. He had been loyal. And that's the reason he was wearing brown. Everything except his hat was a little bit on the light side, I'd say, as I recall. Maybe it was dark, I can't recall. He had beautiful eyes because they didn't move a lot. He looked into your soul when he spoke. Ain't many men like that, but Shane was like that. Shane was... He was not like most other men or any man I've ever known. Anyway, that's the first time I saw Shane, and I met up with him a couple of nights later. He was still in town. That's when we went and had a few drinks together at the saloon. He asked me to come with him. Oh, see, I think he was nervous. And I noticed he was wearing his gun. Oh boy, I thought to myself. I sure hope we don't have any gunplay tonight. I wasn't the kind of fella that got off on that kind of thing. I'd survived a few gunfights, but I was a peripheral piece of the puzzle in each case. I was lucky. This here Shane I'd already heard about. Yeah, he had already been in a number of gunfights, and he had won every damn one of them. And he never drew first. Nobody could believe it. There was no one like him. Even Billy the Kid was a cheater. But Shane was a gentleman. And I believe he was from Virginia. But I do know he fought. He fought with the rebels, by God, and he was proud of it. And that's what happened. He was there, and he told them that he wasn't going to sign the damn thing in Appomattox. They were going to let the boys go back, walk back to North Carolina. But Shane said, "No, I ain't signing it," and they shot him in his leg. And then they said, "You'll sign it now, or we'll shoot the other one." And Shane could hardly stand on his legs, but he said, "I ain't signing nothing." And at that moment, they shot the son of a gun again in his other leg, and he fell to the ground. walked all the way back through the Piedmont, all the way back from Appomattox with a bullet in each leg. Well, I knew the story. Then people started saying, that's the one that didn't sign at Appomattox. He wouldn't sign, kill him. And after about 10 of these guys threatening Shane, Shane had to leave and go out west. You see, he was a quiet man, a slow man, but he was faster than a snake. He thought that Shane wasn't being serious. And then I saw him throw a punch at a man that man never saw coming. He hit him in the chest. Man fell to his knees and Shane said, now say a prayer. And by golly, I could hear the Lord's sermon coming out of the fella. He was so scared. Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, you know how it goes. Well, Shane made them recite the whole damn thing, word for word. And then he slapped him across the face with his gun and said, don't ever let me see you again. And then he walked out, expecting to be shot in the back. Believe it or not, a couple of guys in the back started clapping. And by God, the whole town started cheering for Shane. By accident, he had just shot the worst guy that ever walked. He was a hero. So suddenly, instead of being a gangster, he was a hero. Next installment, I'm sure you want to hear what Shane and I talked about that night when we were drinking in the back of the bar. That is at the edge, where we found a table all by ourselves, where we could talk about what was really behind life and death, the way it came and went so fast to most of us. I'll put in another installment tomorrow. Yeah, that's Shane. He's quite a man. He was quite a man. Nobody really knows what happened to him, but we can get back to our story because there's a hell of a lot more to tell about the most unusual human being I ever met. And his name was Shane.